Does your wife know how to drive your bass boat? How about your kids? How about your best buddy that you go fishing with? Whoa! That's a beauty. Good morning, guys and girls. March 20, Mark 5:36. Hey, this is one even I could memorize. 5 words. That's all this has got in it. 5 words. Mark 5:36. Don't be afraid, just believe. Just believe. Don't be afraid, just believe. Jesus is asking us to not be afraid, just believe. We have gone through a year in this country of the most feared up people I have ever seen. Amazingly feared up. Totally their lives being controlled by fear, a good segment of our population. Here's what I wrote about that. Women have been a big part of my fishing life. Chris and I spent a lot of our early dates in a fishing boat. And yes, most of the time, girls, we were actually fishing. Not all the time, I gotta admit, but most of the time, we were actually fishing. Well, those are some good memories, though, I gotta tell you. We pretty much raised our daughter Sherry in a bass boat. Now, some of my best days are teaching my granddaughter Jordan how to fish. I tell you, I love fishing with girls. One of the things that we get to do with Shell Oil Company and Shell Rotella is take a lot of their big customers fishing. And a lot of times, ladies come down and get to fish, and it's just a thrill for me to get to take women fishing. But even today, it's still unusual to see 2 women fishing together in a bass boat. Chris and Sherry have never been afraid to go fishing alone because they know what they're doing under just about any circumstance. They fish tournaments. They've been out there in storms, in tornadoes, in thunder, in lightning, in freezing weather, in hurricane-style winds. They trust their knowledge. They know what they're doing. They trust their knowledge. God wants us to believe Him and not be afraid no matter what. No matter what. This trust comes from absolutely knowing that you belong to Him and that He will never, ever forsake you. I saw so many Christians this year be absolutely, totally afraid, or last year I guess now, of this virus. Absolutely changed their lifestyle incredibly because they were afraid of dying. It's just that simple. We basically changed nothing that we did, except I didn't do 90 or 100 personal appearances like I normally did because they were canceled. But we still did church appearances. Those churches that still had them, we still did them. We kept our church open every single Sunday here in southern Oklahoma. We made some modifications and made some changes, but we kept trusting God. We kept trusting God to see us through. And, I caught the COVID, and it didn't kill me. It could have. We did lose family members and friends through COVID, and the ones that we lost were fighting a lot of other health problems. And to the people that had a lot of health problems, it's certainly understandable that they would take extra precautions because, in reality, we take extra precautions all the time. And I've had people tell me, because we've had our COVID shots, both Chris and I, and I've had people comment actually on our YouTube channel. By the way, if you're not subscribed to Catch of the Day, go in there and subscribe to Catch of the Day right now. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. But that's rain coming. That's rain coming. That's rain coming. That's rain coming. Let's go jump in the mule real quick. Come on, let's go jump in the mule. Let's go jump in the mule real quick. I can hear the rain coming. I mean, that is rain coming. That is rain coming. So, boy, those are giant drops. Look at the size of those drops. Oh, my goodness. It might come a big rain right here. We got a little roof on here. Chris is on the wet side, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm over on the dry side. Got big drops on my book. Subscribe to the Catch of the Day. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe to it. If you are subscribed, share this with several friends and have them subscribe to it too. But I was talking about the COVID situation. But we continued doing everything. We had family get-togethers. We had a big Thanksgiving. We had a big Christmas. We were not afraid, and God saw us through it. And if it had been our time to die and we died of COVID, that just happens. But God wants you to trust in Him and not be afraid of anything, no matter what. Not be afraid of a bad doctor's report. We have an appointed time to leave this earth. And unless God decides to extend that, we're going to. Now, it does make sense to do precautions. I plug up my kill switch when we're running in a boat. We wear life jackets. We wear safety belts. I'm reminded of the old story of the guy on the rooftop during the flood, and he prayed for God to save him. And a boat came by, and he said, I'm trusting God to save me. I don't need the boat. And another boat came by, and he said, I'm trusting God to save me. I don't need the boat. And then a helicopter came by, and the water was almost up to where they were on the rooftop. And he said, I'm trusting God. Well, the guy drowned. He drowned. And he told God, he said, God, I was trusting you to save me. And God told him, he said, I sent 2 boats and a helicopter. What more can I do? I ran out of options. So, God wants us to have sense. He wants us, God probably wants us to wear seatbelts. If it hadn't been for God, seatbelts would never have been invented. He probably wants us to hook our kill switch up on our big Mercury motors. He probably wants us to wear a life jacket when we run down the lake 70 miles an hour. And I feel like that God gave the people the knowledge to create the COVID shot. And it's going to make the whole world a lot better. But no matter what, God wants us to not be afraid. Here's our tip. This is an easy one. It's a simple one. Teach all members of your family, including your kids, how to operate your boat. Teach all members of your family. Teach your fishing buddy. Make sure he knows how to do everything. Make sure your kids how to do anything. And if you have one of those emergencies, you have a heart attack out there in the lake, you have something happen that you can't drive the boat, you fall and break your back out there, and you can't drive the boat, make sure that your kids can drive it. Make sure your wife can drive it. Your girlfriend can drive it. I got real tickled this week with my partner in the ranch here, and I guess I don't know what age Tyler is, but 10 or 11 or 12 years old, 10 or 11 years old. I don't know, he's pretty young, and he was getting ready to back his brand new boat in. Brand spanking new boat, only I think the first or second time it's been in the water. And he said, Tyler, jump in my truck there and back my boat in the water for me. And Steve got in the boat, and Tyler got in the truck and backed him in the lake at about 10 years old. Of course, now he drives drag racer, so he's a pretty good, he knows how to drive, I'll put it that way. Teach your kids how to drive a boat. If you're in the country, you probably teach them how to drive trucks and tractors and stuff like that when they're pretty young also. I'm not recommending every 10-year-old drives, but it was pretty good to watch that happen. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. That was the extent of our shower. We could have stayed out there and probably not got wet at all. Remember, I sure do love you.